Because I consider her my single greatest career inspiration. No, I didn't even look at you because you're going to make me run. So the Martha Craig Daughtrey Award honors the active LAW member who models personal and professional achievement in the legal profession and promotes women lawyers, as well as encourages them personally to excel in the law. And tonight, of course, we're recognizing Barbara Moss as this award recipient. I first met Barbara 25 years ago as an utterly aimless, borderline feckless 21-year-old. And always a sucker for the young woman in need, she hired me as a litigation paralegal. And from that seat, I watched her kick ass every day, in a hat no less, while raising 2 daughters on her own, thumbing her nose at convention and unapologetically committed to a life outside of work. And Barbara, I don't think you realize what it meant to the women you worked with to watch you walk out the front doors of a law firm every night at 5 o'clock with your head held high. She was gutsy, she was brilliant, and I was sold. I wanted to be just like Barbara Moss. So, after I graduated from law school, I came back to being a life student of Barbara's. As far as education goes, Harry Potter had Hogwarts, and I had the magical, salacious world of Barbara Moss employment litigation, including unspeakably absurd sexual harassment cases like the female manager who was wrongly accused but later exonerated, who's later exonerated because he unwittingly assumed, the male plaintiff unwittingly assumed the carpet always matched the drapes. How about that for a legally blonde moment? Of course, we had very serious, hard-hitting cases too. Like in Beth Alexander, remember, protecting important intellectual property rights of an adult toy company, and like defending alongside the ACLU the important First Amendment rights of fortune tellers. I've watched her deftly but lovingly advocate for deeply traumatized clients, including the couple from Spokane, Washington, who were severely burned as they toured downtown Nashville and a transformer exploded on them, and a couple who tragically lost their 5-year-old little girl in a car accident when the airbag deployed. Both of those cases garnered national attention, and the latter was in part responsible for the life-saving warnings that you and I heed today about weight restrictions for front seat passengers. Barbara, as I considered how to introduce you tonight, it dawned on me that I was 100% unnecessary. All of these people know you and love you, and so many people in this audience have their own precious stories of time. So I thought I would share that, and I'm going to ask you all, ladies and gentlemen, to stand if you identify with the following. And I actually do mean stand. Sometimes people say stand, but I actually mean stand. I want you to stand and remain standing if you count yourself among Barbara's dear friends. If you count yourself among those whom Barbara has so selflessly mentored over the last 45 years, including many LAW presidents that she sought out to befriend, encourage, and take to lunch. If If you've co-founded with Barbara this organization or others like T-Law, or served under her leadership in this organization or others, please stand. If you've learned from one of Barbara's countless presentations on life or the law, or as her student at Vanderbilt or at Nashville School of Law, please stand. If you have read or been inspired by any of Barbara's 90 op-ed articles from the Tennessean, including her classic Primer for a Working Parent, please stand. If you've been a member of or served with Barbara in the Nashville Women's Breakfast Club, or Women in Numbers, Thistle Farms, the YWCA, Cable, or the NCCJ, please stand. If you've ever repeated any of Barbara's famous quotes like, "By as much help as you can afford," please stand. And finally, if you've ever marveled at her authenticity or her audacity, if you've ever cried in her arms or sought solace in her compassion, if you've ever laughed with her because she brought so much joy to your life, or if you've laughed with her because her life is just so infectious, please stand. And finally, if you've ever been inspired by her preternatural ability to reinvent herself in more ways than Madonna herself, please stand. Barbara and Sissy, this award is so important, not just because it allows us the opportunity to reflect on the amazing women and moments like Barbara has brought us, but Barbara, frankly, it's important to allow you the opportunity to look out amongst this crowd and truly appreciate your incredible body of work. Congratulations, my friend. Martha Craig Daughtrey herself will come up and present her award to Barbara.
Thank you for that beautiful introduction. Donna was my very first work daughter. Sissy, I can't be more honored than to receive an award named after you, and to be mentioned in the same breath with all the women who've won this award. It's just an amazing experience. Chris Norris, thank you for nominating me for this. And I have a lot of family here, and I'm going to be talking about it. So in 1990, a book came out that changed my life. It was called You Just Don't Understand, and it was written by a linguist. And it is about how men communicate and how women communicate. And men communicate, according to this linguist, in a way that's one up, one down. It's competitive. The sports, the politics. Women connect as individuals in a network of connections. They seek and give confirmation and support. So in this special organization, LAW, I want to talk to you like your woman friend, like your girlfriend. And lovely men who are here, hang in here, because statistically, most women say that another woman is their best friend, and most men say that another woman is their best friend. Now, I'm not going to give you advice. For one reason, Laura Baker did such a good job with the new Admentees breakfast. But also, I don't want to give you advice. I want to give you comfort. You do not have to be perfect. Quoting one of my favorite poets, Mary Oliver, You do not have to be good. You do not have to walk on your knees for 100 miles through the desert repenting. You don't have to win every case. You don't have to win every negotiation. You don't have to find every typo. And I'm telling you this not because I conquered perfectionism, but because I survived perfectionism. You may not be the detail person. You may not be the courtroom lawyer. You may not be the rainmaker. We all get our share of good qualities. And you just have to find a place where your good qualities fit into the puzzle. You don't have to be good at the billable hour. Maybe your brain is like mine and it works all the time. And you think of things in the shower and you even wake up with the solution sometimes. It's hard to quantify that, isn't it? In 1999, Vanderbilt Law Review had a symposium on the practice of law in which the lead article was on being a happy, healthy, ethical member of an unhappy, unhealthy, unethical profession. And that article was about the billable hour. You don't have to know what you're doing all the time. The first 5 years I practiced law, I thought everybody knew what they were doing. And then after a while, I realized that nobody knew what they were doing. Yes, after 5 years, you know where to sit in the courtroom, but everything is different. Every case is different. Every client is different. You don't have to avoid every mistake, and I've got news for you. Men don't talk about their mistakes. So create a mistake-okay zone in your office so that everybody can come to at least one place and talk about their mistakes. You don't have to be confident. In 1992, I bought a hat, and then I bought another hat. And then the men in my law firm started saying, "Where's your hat?" And it was a shopping opportunity. And here's what I found out about wearing hats. Number one, everyone talks to me when I wear a hat. Wait staff and homeless people and people in the grocery store. Number two, men love women in hats, and I was a single mom for 22 years. But number three is you look confident when you wear a hat. So, you don't even have to be confident. Actually, I don't even know anybody who's confident. Looking confident is enough. Really is. You don't have to make it to the top of your firm. You don't have to be the managing partner. You don't have to be on the executive committee. You don't even have to stay with the same law firm. You don't have to stay in a marriage that's not working. In fact, you don't even have to be married. And maybe, if you're really lucky, you'll find somebody and marry him when you're 55, like Tom Campbell. When I married Tom, I told somebody in LAW, Brenda Dowd, she's not here, I said, I'm marrying a psychiatrist and psychoanalyst. And she said, well, that'll save you a lot of money. And, the great thing about Tom is he never judges anyone. That's his superpower. And he never judges me. So that I'm really myself when I show up with Tom. And I know that it's the real me that he really loves. You don't have to be a perfect mom. And I have my daughter Rachel here to be my witness. Rebecca couldn't be here. Some of you raised Rachel and Rebecca with me. You, as a mom, you don't get all the blame and you don't get all the credit. My two daughters are wonderful people, wonderful athletes, wonderful mothers. They've married men that I deeply admire. They get the credit, not me. And your children don't have to be perfect either. You don't have to worry about everything. When Rachel was growing up, she was an incredible athlete, and she went to sports camps every summer, and I kept worrying, well, she doesn't have a job, and I grew up, you had a job every summer. And she went to Dartmouth, and then when she finished Dartmouth, she went to San Francisco with no job and no place to stay. And everything she needed to know about the world of work was out there waiting for her. I just had to step out of the way because she mastered it all. You don't have to be pretty. You don't have to have pretty fingernails and toenails. Let me say that I'm into self-care. I get self-care. And the last time I appeared in front of the Tennessee Supreme Court, I said to my husband, Tom, I don't know how this is going to go, but my toenails are pretty. What I'm saying is you don't have to have pretty toenails and fingernails. You don't have to be thin. About 20 years ago, I saw a bumper sticker that said, nothing tastes as good as thin feels. And I lost 10 pounds. And then I went, oh wait, I never feel thin. You don't have to wear high heels. Although I kind of have them on tonight because the woman at Nordstrom said, well, you have to suffer occasionally. My friend Abby Rubenfeld is here, and I asked her if this would be okay, and she said yes. You don't have to be straight. Cisgender. You don't have to stick with the same law practice you started out with. As a law student, I decided I wanted to be a trial lawyer, and I loved every minute of it. And after 22 years as a single mom, I married Tom at 55, and somebody had my back, and I was defending employment cases, and when sexual harassment came along, I thought I'll be fully employed forever. And then employment cases fell out of the big firms and fell into insurance defense boutiques. And I looked around, I piddled around some, and then looked around, and at 63, I started to practice elder law of Nashville. You know, the law is an interesting profession where you can do a lot of different things. Now, single moms, if there are any here, I want to say I am bonded with you. We know the same joys, we know the same desperation. I know what it's like to have no plan B. And if the pandemic had happened when I was a single mom, I don't know, maybe I would have ended up on welfare. This has been such a tough time, such a tough time. You don't have to win awards, although it's really lovely to win this one. It's really lovely. It's a wonderful award to win. But you know, awards don't fix a single thing about your life. The next line of that Mary Oliver poem is this: you only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. So of course you love your children. You love your bonus children, Robin Campbell and Khaki Campbell, who are here with me. You love your grandchildren, Annie Mitchell is here with me. You love your friends, you love your colleagues, you love your work daughters and your work sons. You love your roses, you love your dogs, whatever it is you love. Love is the answer. One day I was driving along, I told you how my brain worked, and I thought, what's my definition of a hero? And here's what it is. Most days, she gets up and puts one foot in front of the other. Most days, she gets up and puts one foot in front of the other. So if you got up today, male and female, and put one foot in front of the other, you're my hero. And if you can't do it tomorrow, you're still my hero, because remember, it's most days. And if you find that most days you can't get up and put one foot in front of the other, reach out to your female friends. There are a lot of great women's organizations out there, especially my favorite one, the Lawyers Association for Women. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Barbara. That was very inspiring. Thank you. And kind of my closing remarks as outgoing president, this has been a interesting year, and just to say the least, but I'm so fortunate to have people like Barbara who, knowing that I don't have to be perfect, and it's for people like you and just Daughtrey and so many others in this room who paved the way to where you can tell us to feel that way, and we genuinely can actually feel that we can believe it. So thank you. Thank you so much.